They do have a plan, they do say it, and they do execute it, and all their actions are for the greater vision.
That's the mistake you're making there. All their actions part. That's not something you can bring to the ICC and convict someone of genocide for.
I'm talking to Jason, and Jason is here, not the ICC, and you're not representing the ICC.
I'm talking to you about the crime of genocide, Daniel.
Yes, I know.
And that's why I'm objecting to these things that Yaakov and Rina are saying. They're unacceptable things to say about the crime of genocide.
She's completely accurate. You're missing
what?
Yeah, I'm trying to explain that, Dan. I'm saying to him.
But you guys got to stop
Daniel, I'm saying to him.
to me, okay? I am explaining to you, and you guys don't seem to understand anything I say.
No, I understand everything you're saying. I'm saying to you the intent of the act is proven by who and what they are targeting and by the
that's not.
So, you today, do we have any, was the meeting today?
Yeah, it's over. It finally ended. How many hours did they go? 4 hours? 5 hours?
Did they come out looking satisfied or?
Well, Jeff, you just commented that you didn't have a whole lot to say.
I don't even get drunk.
I need a glass of wine or a shot of.
Well, maybe
they agreed to not say anything.
Maybe he's waiting for Putin to announce it to give some. I don't know.
Correction to the goop. He said it was extremely productive, and the fact that Trump doesn't talk leads me to curiosity. I have no expectations or understanding right now.
It's tricky because on one hand you want to convince somebody to end a war that they started, and on the other hand you don't want to sell out the nation that got invaded, that we're currently sending weapons and money to. It's a sticky situation. At the end of the day, I think the win-win for everybody is for less people to die, for Russian troops to go home. But the devil's going to be in the details. And, what if Zelensky tells Putin to pound sand, we're not giving up an inch? If they do the we're not going to give up an inch thing, I think escalations from here probably make the most sense. Because if they're not going to have peace, then maybe more has to be required to drive people, to making that decision. If you think about what happened to cause Japan to surrender, first of all, if they hadn't surrendered, we could have, continued to drop bombs on them, or just incendiary. And so sometimes wars have to come to an end. And at some point, the war has to come to an end. And there's going to be a winner and there's going to be a loser. If Trump really is the negotiator he says he is, he should be looking for what is a solution that can make both of the leaders save some face with their people. Because I don't think that you're going to sell an idea that doesn't allow them to save face.
I think that's probably the first thing on the agenda too. Because if the people that you lead don't respect your decisions, you're not going to be a leader for long unless you use force.
Marshall, what was your read of it?
Good point, Marshall. Appreciate that insight. Thanks much.
Well said. John Kiddo, do you have an official position on this?
I think there's a lot of people who do not want this war to end and want the military-industrial complex to keep spending hundreds of billions of dollars a year on the Ukraine-Russian conflict. Palmer Luckey and building all these bomb drones is the next evolution of warfare, apparently. And, I vote for peace, and I think that there's a lot of paranoid Americans who think that Trump is somehow compromised by Putin. And I think that those types of people are the ones expressing dangerous rhetoric, not me, who's advocating for peace and meeting in the minds between President Trump and Vladimir Putin.
Yeah, there's that. I don't know what can come from it though. Like, okay, so they've met. That's a big step, right? Putin coming to the U.S., talking to Trump. Major step. But is this the beginning of the war getting bigger, or is this the beginning of the war winding down? I don't have the answer to that.
It's a wind down. These are two older gentlemen at the peak of their political and, generational affairs. This is a de-escalation in 2025 from a proxy geographic specific area of the world. I mean, all of these weapons have been flying there, millions of people dying. And when an American president and the Russian leader can get together, it's not to expand the war, it's to de-escalate the war.
I'd love to get Anson's thoughts.
Okay, I don't know what you guys have been talking about, but I am one pissed off over you. What a bunch of bullshit. They didn't say anything. They said of substance. There was all this crap from Putin about Russian, American, Alaska, blah, 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 and then some more fluff from Trump, and absolutely nothing of substance. Trump said, we agreed on a lot of things, but some things we still are working on. Well, obviously, there's no fucking ceasefire, or they would have been bragging their ass off about that. So forget a ceasefire. Trump says he's going to talk more with Zelensky and NATO. Well, of course he is. But this whole thing that happened right now leaves wide open. God, Clubhouse is going to friggin' explode, pardon my French, because there's nothing of substance, so there's going to be this wild speculation. Like, Marshall, correct me if I'm wrong, but somebody told me the substantial part of the critical thinking forum today was, again, a slam dunk on Trump for red carpet, letting him in his car and all that crap, peripheral crap. But I'm not trying to criticize that room. But Jesus Christ, they should have said something of substance. They didn't. The world still wonders, and social media, the press, and everybody else is going to go apeshit this weekend. And I don't know who in the hell is going to stand up and say, wait a minute, we really did make progress here, here, and here. We're still debating here, and we don't know what the fuck we're going to do about this, that, and the other thing. I mean, why don't we have a press conference that tells the goddamn truth?
next step will be Zelensky coming back over here?
Roger, I don't know what the fuck is going to happen. That's based on the press conference. I can, we're all going to speculate, and somebody, we're going to argue over the fucking speculation. But nobody knows what the hell's going on. Well, somebody knows what the hell's going on. Rubio, Witkoff, Trump, Russian foreign minister, certainly Putin and Trump. But, we're just going to be left hanging. And, I think I'm going to go crawl in the hole, not read the newspaper, not get on Clubhouse, and wait for a week to see what the hell's going to come out of this thing. Sorry, but I wish I could be more enlightening and encouraging, but God damn,
You're not,
this is so much bullshit, and you're
not satisfied with the statement of the president?
What?
You're not satisfied with the statement?
Hell no. Not by either one of them. I mean, Jesus Christ. They didn't say anything of substance, of progress or lack of progress.
They said they were in agreement on several issues.
Yeah, well, what fucking issues were they in agreement on? Do they like the way each other wears their socks? Or, come on, this is just crazy.
You'd like them to just put a live camera negotiating rooms? They're in the middle of a deal. We're going to just come out and tell the whole world exactly what's in it.
As I was sitting here on my couch at my dinner with my companion, and she hates Fox News, but I turned it to Fox News and said, I really want to see this press conference and hear the reaction. And I told her, I said, this may be historic. Well, it was. It was a historic dump. And no substance, no reason to do anything except guess what the hell's going on, and I'm sick of it.
And Putin said the words, we have an agreement, quote unquote, verbatim. So I don't know what you're concerned about.
Well, agreement on what? He likes Trump's hairdo?
No, if it was about their shirt tie necklace where it would be not discussed at the press conference. If they're in agreement with substantive enough items that Putin is telling you that he's in agreement with Trump. And we have an agreement, quote unquote. He said it 3 times.
And you don't think that's going to lead to everybody saying Putin has now bamboozled Trump yet again? That's going to be the left side of the clubhouse and the press. Trump caved again. Well, we don't know whether he caved or not. We don't know whether Putin caved or not.
It was a productive meeting.
Well, I say bullshit on productive meeting. I want to know the substance of why they think it's a productive meeting.
So I have just a question for anybody that has, the take that Jansen seems to be expressing here, and maybe I look at things differently. But the United States is trying to be a peace broker here between an adversarial nation and then one that we have historically problems, right? So the conflict, the war, is Russia, a sovereign nation state, and Ukraine, a sovereign nation state. The United States is not an active participant in the conflict. The United States has provided funding and resources to one side and is trying to play global power broker in this conversation, right? And so the United States leader having a meeting with one of the parties, why on earth would anyone think that at the end of that meeting, the general public, the Joe Schmo American population, would be given any information? I don't get that piece as an expectation. When they scheduled this meeting, I had no expectation that we, the general public and Joe Schmoes of America, were going to know the specifics of what was discussed given that now Trump has to go have the conversation with the other side, the side that we have supported, the side that our allies have supported, and communicate what the conversation was with Russia. I don't know why anybody would reasonably expect that there would be a whole lot of specifics on anything given to the general public until that meeting happens.
I agree. Brent articulated that perfectly, because you can't share things until you have an agreement with the other side. And so whatever they've agreed upon is now going to be obviously presented to Zelensky, and Zelensky's going to have to put on his big boy pants and go through that and hopefully agree to those things so that they can move forward. Because this is between Ukraine and Russia. And as Brent said, the U.S. is trying to broker peace between the two countries. Yes, I agree. Thank you, Brent.
This is really the perfect room title because Trump and Putin get all or nothing accusations and all or nothing complaints all the time on this app. So, in my opinion, this is going to be one really spicy in the muff.
The problem, Johnny, is that we're all going to guess. We're all going to make assumptions. I mean, I can't imagine what the Washington Post is going to have to say tomorrow, but I'll guarantee you it's going to be anti-Trump, because they're going to be guessing as to what the hell happened. Well, something of substance evidently happened. Not the whole substance, but some substance. So tell us what that substance is. But then again, you're right. Little old me, I have no right to know what the substance is. Let them negotiate, and then once a peace treaty is signed, then I can agree or disagree with the terms of the peace treaty. But that's not the way the world works today, and we're going to get ourselves, I hit a ladder because of lack of substance. They both said there was substance. They both said there was progress. Great. Just tell me what that was. And tell me where you still disagree, and then I can have a rational discussion, God forbid, about how we might be able to solve the things that they still disagree on. But we're left with nothing, absolutely nothing, from what, in my view, should have been a historic event.
I mean, I don't want to beat a dead horse, so I'm just going to kind of hit this one home one final time.
Enterprise that's losing $100 billion a year.
When we deal with police investigations, when we deal with internal hearings, when you deal with treaty delegations, most of that process is not made public until you hit the end, because it is not productive or conducive to what you're trying to accomplish, to bring the entire world and the general public that frankly has no direct decision-making impact into the process. So I agree with you, Anthony. As a private citizen, I would love to know what's going on. I would love to have a camera in the room. That'd be really interesting. But if the purpose is truly for the United States government to broker a peace deal or a ceasefire or some sort of progressive movement here between Russia and Ukraine to stop this, global mess of a war that's impacting the global economy and our allies and adversary nations at the same time, then you have to do what is functional for that, right? And so I do not expect leaders of nations to put the desire of their populace to be informed and, not having to sit and wait above actually accomplishing something. That's why we do that in the courts, right? There's only so much that's made public prior to a verdict. There's only so much that's made public in negotiations. Hell, corporate mergers, there's only so much that they have to publicly provide until the deal is struck, at which point it's appropriate and safe to tell everybody what happened. The desire to know in the middle of the process is natural, but I just think it's an unrealistic demand for people to have.
And isn't it entirely possible that maybe some of the negotiations that they've actually hammered out are contingent on the ones that haven't been hammered out yet? And so it may be that they don't want to too early, because if that second contingent isn't ironed out, perhaps Russia's like, no, I don't want the world to know that we agreed to X, Y, or Z.
Well, while we were having a totally unrelated discussion in the rational discussion group, somebody, and I think he's, John, I think, maybe, provided information that in another room in Clubhouse, it was all, why did he get a red carpet treatment? Why did he's being bamboozled again? Blah, 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 blah. The TDS, Trump Derangement Syndrome, and was going on. And Trump, to a degree, brings this on himself. He raises my expectations that he's going to have a meeting and it's going to be of real substance. Now, if the substance was, screw you, Putin, we're going to keep fighting and I'm going to knock your ass off with reparations or whatever, tariffs or whatever, fine, Like Trump raises these expectations that he's going to get a Nobel Peace Prize that Hillary Clinton now says she's going to endorse if he brings peace to it. So these expectations of greatness are raised, and we get nothing. We get nothing of substance. All we get is bullshit. I guess what I'm saying is, I'm tired of bullshit. I want substance. Okay, I have to be patient. I have to just wait and see and quit yakking. But I'm tired of bullshit, and I want to hear some substance.
I consider it a peace agreement, essentially. So they're in agreement. The words came out of Putin's mouth.
A peace agreement? Are you kidding me?
Stop that. Easy, stop. It's time for you to be honest with yourself and everybody when you speak. Big man, you cannot, don't just say things that you know are not true. Dude, Trump went there to kiss the man's foot. Dude, when Zelensky went to the White House, what did Trump do? Trump called the man a dictator. He said he was terrible, and he said he was disrespectful. And then he kicked him out of the White House. Trump went to flipping Alaska and literally locked lips with Putin. The only reason why he went there was to have a love affair with Putin. Was never to make a deal. And I told you that. I told you that on 2 separate occasions. Right? And you didn't believe me. Now you owe me money.
Hey, hold on. 10, hold on. 10, real quick, if you can hear me. Why don't you hold the phone closer to your mouth, but speak into it very quietly, almost like a whisper. That'll be more impactful.
Oh, I'm sorry. It looks like I'm just so upset with these mother people, man. These mother people, we've been telling you guys since day one when Trump launched his campaign in 2015, 2014, whenever it was. We told that this guy was a dog. We told you. And you guys didn't listen. You still. Even when we kicked him out, he told you his true colors in 2016 all the way to 2020. He told you his true colors. Right? And people begged Joe Biden to kick him out. Joe Biden kicked him out. And you people still forced the issue so much that you stole the election. You went back to legislators and you fixed the elections to force Trump into office. Right? And now Trump is showing his true colors and you're still coming on here and lying to the American people, dude. I'm not even from this country, and I know that you're full of crap. Pay my money on Tuesday, sorry, I'm done.
I can only from this country.
Hold on.
Hold on real quick. Ken, listen, I'm not sure exactly what country you are from, but I'm sure wherever you are from, everything happens properly in its proper order. Things happen quickly. There's no life and death situations. There's probably never been a war. All of these things would be completely new for wherever country you're from. But the United States of America, we've experienced these things, and right now, the U.S. taxpayers and the money that we borrow is funding this fight. And so you have Donald Trump having a conversation with a dictator about an invasion that the dictator launched. Now the question is, how do we end it? There's a couple of ways that this could come to an end. All of them seem fairly unrealistic. One of them is to let Putin get what he wants. That seems like a terrible strategy. Appeasement doesn't seem to work historically. The other option would be to status quo, let them continue to fight their proxy war, which is probably the most likely scenario. The other thing is probably the worst scenario of all, where we get physically involved and create a scenario where things escalate. I don't know what you guys want to see. All I'm saying is that there is a lot of people dying. There is a lot of Russians dying. There's a lot of Ukrainians dying. And there's a lot of Americans that are going into debt while these people die. Those are facts that are on the table. Now we just have to ask ourselves, which of these problems are we going to try to ease up on? Is it the spending of American taxpayers' dollars, or are we going to appease a dictator? It's a very, very tough situation. There's actually no good solution here, but the better solution would be to minimize human suffering. That's the best solution, in my opinion. But what do I know?
Well, what Ken went off on was exactly what I'm so deeply concerned about. I mean, he left to of anything and everything Trump, but we don't know the substance of what was agreed to or not. So how in the hell can we make a judgment on this particular meeting and whether it advanced or retarded progress towards what I hope all of us want is peace? And so the lack of information is obviously impatient. You know, I'm really disturbed, all that kind of stuff, and I apologize. I'm trying to have a rational discussion. But this obfuscation, this bullshit that we are being fed, when there is substance, I'm sure there is real substance, some good, some bad. But what is the substance? And until we have that substance, then how in the hell can we have a legitimate, rational discussion about the pros and cons of what the hell's really going on in the Ukraine war? I hope you understand what I was trying to say. If I confused it, I apologize.
Look, Anson, it's the fog of war. It's the fog of war. And as what Mojo just said, both Putin and Trump are presiding over a death toll. This is a funeral procession service. And you know what? The American people are tired of paying for the funeral. Wrap it up.
Well, I apologize for my passion, but I really hoped that I was going to see a press conference that would be historic. And not only is it not historic, it's something, I don't know, what do you call something that's on the negative side of historic? Degrading, I don't know, disappointing, disgusting. There was some substance there that we, the people, deserve to know what the hell it was. And we don't know. And how in the hell can we argue about whether it was good, bad, or indifferent?
Because so isn't what if they had a recording of the 4-hour visit with Putin and they put it online for everybody to hear?
Are the replays on?
What would that change for your life tomorrow? I think you had, and this is with respect, sir, I think you had too high of an expectation. These are leaders of the world. We're not privy to everything that goes on. Do you want to be? Because honestly, there are a couple things that our country does. I don't think I want to know them.
Ooh.
If I say that I think there will be some truth in some of everything everybody says, because for some it may have been the showmanship in which Trump has portrayed with so many other big leaders. And I guess kind of looking for that showmanship to have a spark of it and not see it at all could lead to a lot of thoughts where
Hi, Jane.
maybe he understands who in this world.
I'm fighting for you, Jane. We're fighting Brad the Dragon.
So you have to treat one different than the other because he's into.
What up, Jane? Yeah, Brad wants to, torch the campaign to elect John Kitover. Wow, what a hater.
What a freak. You hear what he said.
Yeah, he's a freak. He's a freak. He could be a dangerous person.
Could? Yes. It's been dangerous. Well, how are things going with your fundraising?
Well, we've got over $500 in the bank, so I can't complain. And we did an interview.
Fantastic.
Yeah, we are fundraising. So,
Legit.
and we're challenging Darren LaHood to debates, but he's not responding.
I gotta look up for that.
I have Jews protesting me on X now, saying that I'm an unstable loser.
What?
They're calling me an unstable loser. I said Darren LaHood is an unstable loser. He's created $20 trillion in debt and said if you don't get vaxxed, you're all going to die. That seems pretty unstable to me.
Well, I think that must hurt. A fellow Jew, but many things not like your kid. That's okay. I'm not a fan of yours, John.
What do you mean?
Political perspective, I'm a fan of you as a funny person.
Well, that's okay because I can win you over then.
But I don't live in Chicago.
Doesn't matter. You can still donate to the campaign. I'm going to pin the link for you right now.
I'm going to give you $18 when I confirm that it's a real thing.
Give me $1 and then
$18. You know why?
let Menachem Schneerson decide.
I'm going to get in trouble for talking to you.
Oh, there's enough complainers to go around. They're everywhere.
I guess. How do your parents feel about it?
My uncle ran, so I'm just doing what my uncle did. But my uncle didn't win. I'm trying to win.
Yeah, no, I think you could. You have the tenacity, temerity, and overall constitution for it. It's good.
Yeah, I got roasted hard. I've been battling Brad like you can't believe. This guy is, intense.
He's like going after you. What is it? Stolen valor? What the fuck?
Stolen valor. What a ridiculous
That guy steals valor
accusation.
when he tells people to kill themselves.
I agree. He's committing a crime. I posted the crimes that he's actually violating by making death threats on the internet. So.
Oh, jeez, I think I got to know from Elena. Why am I talking to you?
Well.
Elaine, I'll explain.
Tell her I'm an unstable loser, and you're trying to help out a guy running for Congress. Fighting other unstable losers in Congress.
See, it's okay. I love Elena. All Jews that are better should love Elena. But it's the streaming
John. A lot of us freak out over this.
Well, put yourself in my shoes. I have to listen to all your stupid shit and record all your stupid shit.
I barely fucking talk, so it's not me. I'm a listener. I'm more of a listener.
Oh, I see.
But, except my own.
So that's why you don't feel, threatened because I'm not recording you.
I just got over it because at the beginning of Clubhouse, I could tell everyone recorded each other. Clips here and there, so I don't get it in the same way, but I'm a younger person, John. Older than you, but younger than some. So but I should leave now. I don't know if I wish you luck in your campaign.
Well, I don't have one specific topic, Mojo, but my topic choices are all obviously going to always be anything related to movies, TV, pop culture, social issues, human interest, true crime. Trying to think what else.
No, I don't have any APEC money.
That's all I can come up with right now.
Ass sex.
I'm sorry, I'm shopping and I can't tell you where.
We can't talk about those things with regard to someone on stage, remember?
You know what? She needs to get exposure therapy to some of these kind of nonsense nowadays. That's what I do. By the way, you guys like my new PTR?
Love your new PTR.
Best PTR ever.
That's a striking PTR. It's going to annoy all the right people.
I have no criticism except for the fact that it would be nice to have it.
Well, you know what? Also, if I have to complain about AI image generators, it's like it kind of cut the scarf off. It just looks weird, and it looks a little more pixelated than the last photo. So I'm not really cool, but I like the idea, and I may go to Cafe Press just to get a shirt. I'm driving, so I can't put the poll up. But if one of you ladies can handle the poll,
I'll do it.
all right. I knew you would.
It's going to be good.
Sonia with a J in the goo. I saw earlier in the chat, you got asked me if there's a room yet tomorrow. We can discuss Candace Owens lawsuit. Yes, ma'am. FYI, Sonia.
Let's get Norm. Why don't you give us your thoughts on the Trump Putin experience, and then we're gonna put a poll up. And we're gonna change the subject, hopefully, to something very uplifting and inspiring that stays consistent with the vibe of the Mojo Good Vibrations experience that you've stepped into.
I appreciate the good vibrations. I appreciate you, Mojo. Good Shabbos to everybody. We should let the peace of the day calm us down and cool us off. I don't have anything good to report about Putin in Alaska.
Shabbat shalom.
Thank you. Putin is one of the great villains of history, and one of the great villainous nations in history, responsible for at least 100 million deaths of its own people and others. This meeting is an embarrassment. I'm listening to Trump. Again, no offense to anybody, he's babbling like an idiot. He's talking about 2016 and the Russia hoax. It's quite clear that they have no deal. Trump said it. And lots of nuclear weapons. And Trump doesn't know what he's doing, doesn't know what he's talking